Fule versus CAGR number L79094, June 22, 1988. This is a petition for review on certiorari of the decision of Respondent Appellate Court, which affirmed the judgment of the Regional Trial Court, Lucena City Branch LIV, convicting petitioner, the accused appellant, of violation of Batas Pambansa Bilang 22 on the basis of the stipulation of facts entered into between the prosecution and the defense during the pretrial conference in the trial court. The facts stipulated upon read that this court has jurisdiction over the person and subject matter of this case, that the accused was an agent of the Towers Insurance Corporation on or before January 21, 1981, that on January 21, 1981, the accused issued and made out check number 26741 dated January 24, 1981 in the sum of 2,541 pesos and 5 centavos. That the said check was drawn in favor of the complaining witness Roy Nadera, that the check was drawn in favor of the complaining witness in remittance of collection, that the said check was presented for payment on January 24, 1981, but the same was dishonored for the reason that the said checking account was already closed, that the accused Manolo Fule has been properly identified as the accused party in this case. At the hearing of August 23, 1985, only the prosecution presented its evidence consisting of exhibits A, B, and C. At the subsequent hearing on September 17, 1985, petitioner appellant waived the right to present evidence and in lieu thereof submitted a memorandum confirming the stipulation of facts. The trial court convicted petitioner appellant. On appeal, respondent appellate court upheld the stipulation of facts and affirmed the judgment of conviction. Hence, this recourse with petitioner appellant contending that the Honorable Respondent Court of Appeals erred in affirming the decision of the Regional Trial Court convicting the petitioner of the offense charged, despite the cold fact that the basis of the conviction was based solely on the stipulation of facts made during the pre-trial on August 8, 1985, which was not signed by the petitioner nor by his counsel. Finding the petition meritorious, we resolved to give due course. In 1985, rules on criminal procedure, which became effective on January 1, 1985, applicable to this case since the pretrial was held August 8, 1985, provides Section 4. Pretrial agreements must be signed. No agreement or admission made or entered during the pretrial conference shall be used in evidence against the accused unless reduced to writing and signed by him and his counsel. Rule 118. By its very language, the rule is mandatory. Under the rule of statutory construction, negative words and phrases are to be regarded as mandatory, while those in the affirmative are merely directory. Mhm. The use of the term shall further emphasizes its mandatory character and means that it is imperative, operating to impose a duty which may be enforced. And more importantly, penal statutes, whether substantive or remedial or procedural, are consecrated by consecrated rule to be strictly applied against the government and liberally in favor of the accused. The conclusion is inevitable, therefore, that the omission of the signature of the accused and his counsel, as mandatory required by the rules, renders the stipulation of facts inadmissible in evidence. The fact that the lawyer of the accused in his memorandum confirmed the stipulation of facts does not cure the defect because Rule 118 requires both the accused and his counsel to sign the stipulation of facts, as required by Rule 118 was to submit evidence to establish the elements of the crime, instead of relying solely on the supposed admission of the accused in the stipulation of facts. Without said evidence, independent of the admission, the guilt of the accused cannot be deemed established beyond reasonable doubt. Consequently, under the circumstances obtaining in this case, the ends of justice require that evidence be presented to determine the culpability of the accused. When a judgment has been entered by consent of an attorney without special authority, it will sometimes be set aside or reopened. Wherefore, the judgment of respondent appellate court is reversed, and this case is hereby ordered reopened and remanded to the appropriate branch of the Regional Trial Court of Lucena City for further reception of evidence. So ordered, no? So bongga ang discussion dito kasi pag sige, i-summarize natin yung case. So, si petitioner is si Manolo Fule, no? Ang kanyang conviction is violation of Batas Pambansa bilang 22 or the Balancing Checks Law. So the court, it was held in the RTC and it was affirmed by Court of Appeals. Basis of conviction is stipulation of facts during the pretrial conference, no? So ano yung nakalagay doon sa facts? Of course, jurisdiction over the case and the accused, full assurance as an agent of Towers Assurance Corporation, issuance of the check number 26741, dishonor of the check due to a closed account, and identification of Fuli as the accused, no? So during the trial proceedings, the prosecution presented evidence, fully waived his right to present evidence, and submitted a memorandum confirming the stipulation of facts. Sa desisyon ng RTC, conviction was based on the stipulations. Sa Court of Appeals naman, inapheld nila yung decision ng RTC. That's why nagkaroon ng petition for review. So Fule argued that the stipulation of facts was inadmissible due to lack of signatures from him and his counsel. So there are two issues here. First, did the Court of Appeals err in affirming the RTC's decision to convict Fule based solely on an unsigned stipulation of facts? Second, is the stipulation of facts inadmissible due to the lack of signatures of the accused and his counsel. So yung ruling is, first, the Supreme Court reversed the judgment of the Court of Appeals and ordered the case to be reopened and remanded to the RTC of Lucena City for further reception of evidence. Now, reasoning, the Supreme Court found the petition meritorious, cited the 1985 Rules on Criminal Procedure, Rule 118, Section 4, any agreement or admission during a pretrial conference must be reduced to writing and signed by both the accused and his counsel to be admissible as evidence. The language of the rule is mandatory with the term shall, underscoring its imperative nature. So rules of statutory construction, negative words and phrases are mandatory. Affirmative ones are merely directory. Penal statute should be strictly applied against the government and liberally in favor of the accused, no? So strict siya sa government ang application, liberal naman doon sa accused. Omission of signatures rendered the stipulation of facts inadmissible, and confirmation of the stipulation by the accused lawyer na memorandum did not cure the defect. Kasi kahit pumirma yung lawyer, take note, kailangan both the lawyer and the accused ang pumirma. Prosecution should have presented independent evidence to establish elements of the crime, and the ends of justice require reopening the case to allow for further evidence to determine Fule's culpability. No? So, this is a very simple case, pero grabe yung mga small details lang, no? Grabe yung effect niya doon sa takbo ng buong kaso. So, balik sa Regional Trial Court.